Hello, Gary Champion today with I think a few predictions that I hope help. And I didn't intend to do this today. I was just sitting here and all of a sudden I started hearing things and I'll write them down. Pretty soon I got a bunch of them. I don't know. We're talking about Russia and Ukraine that communications have broken down. And when civility ensues, then peace is a possibility. They're just slaughtering each other over there. It's been done before. It's nothing new. Every war has had it. Let's see. Property damage by storms will increase because it means we're going to have a lot more storms. Dangerous storms, hail, high winds, things like that, ripping roofs off. And there is no balance between peace and war. I'm not quite sure what that means. Well, is there ever supposed to be a balance between peace and war? We've got three different groups in Europe. The group that want to stay out of everything. They don't want to get involved in it. They don't want to send arms to Ukraine. They don't want to back Russia, even though maybe they have in the past, because this is going downhill. It's going badly. So you have that group who just don't want to get into anything. Then the group that's partisan, depending on which side of the border you live. And it's a funny story that a lot of Ukrainians are coming to America. My wife's met some of them. Turns out they're not Ukrainian. Turns out they're Russian. They don't even speak Ukrainian. She's tried. They're Russians. They get on the bus to go to America saying they're Ukrainians. No one tested them. No one checked them. They're Russians posing as Ukrainians to get to the United States. What a crappy deal. Instead of the Ukrainians who are suffering getting here, we're getting Russians who started the whole mess getting here. Of course, there's a difference between civilians and, like people may say they love America, but they don't love the politics. Well, I don't either. Welcome to the club. But that's sort of Russia. You don't totally dislike Russia, but you like the way you dislike their leadership, which is the worst. Peace and I don't know what that means. Time is right for a takeover. And I'm going to say that's a lot of businesses who have been doing well are now doing poorly. And there'll be easy takeovers. This is the way it is. They'll drop to lower and lower assets and whatever. And a really good company who should be fine and in good shape will be taken over and either split up and parts of the business to be sold off to make the profit, or they'll boost its sales and revive a company simply by taking it over. A lot of these deals won't become public. I don't know why I'm seeing Campbell soup. I don't know why I'm seeing that. That may be one. I can't eat Campbell soup. I can't eat any store-bought soup because if you look on the label, it's got 750 milligrams of salt. My old kidneys will be screaming, "Stop!" Here's an interesting one. I guess it's true. Today's political agenda serves the rich. Isn't that interesting? In our Congress, they're not fighting for the little man. Ooh, let's give him more. Let's give him some insurance. Let's let him better health care. Let's make sure his kids get fed 3 times a day and can go to school. That's not what they're fighting over. They're fighting over money, control, power. It's a sad sort of affair. It sort of makes me sick to think about it, but that's what they're doing. The important things about our country are the children, the women and children that are going to make the country in the future. We're not providing stuff. We're taking things away, especially taking things away from women. I don't need to tell you who's doing it. They've been doing it since every time they get in office, they snatch another thing away from women. Women got enough shit to worry about. Stop messing with them. Ooh, that was harsh. They will find a man half eaten by his brothers. Got nothing to say about that, but it came out. I don't know how to pronounce this. The abortion pill, Milson or whatever that is. Why can't they make these things pronounceable? I guess I could look it up, but then I'm just too lazy. It'll become first choice for all abortions. Why? Because they've taken another away from them. They've banned abortions, but the pill works. I can find it here. Oh, bootlegging the pill will become common. Price of the pill will probably go up. People will buy a bunch of them somewhere overseas and sell them back here to us where it was made or wherever it was made and earn a living doing it. Something about the water rights out west and something to do with the Indians, that people are being paid off where the water is the most valuable thing in the West right now. There isn't enough of it. And for them to continue to build homes and factories and all that in California and all these places, they've got to find a source of water. I'm hearing that money will be paid under the table in order to get it. Nothing new about that, but it's going on now. Apparently, Indian rights have been squashed. There's a tribe of Indians out west that the river runs right by their land. The land's right here, and the river runs right by it. They can't get that water. That's interesting, isn't it? Um, Bootlegging pill will become common. And here's a good one. Vasectomy procedures will increase. You don't need an abortion if you don't have sperm. You have a vasectomy, you can produce sperm. It doesn't alter your physical appearance or the way you act or anything. Just sperm does not come out. So you can't get someone pregnant. You don't have to worry about an abortion. It's the groups that see this as a manly thing. You know, you're taking away my manliness. I'm just going to leave that one there. And I can't leave it. There'll be a lot of botched. I'm hearing two words at the same time. Botched abortions and vasectomies. A lot of people think they can do it yourself, or their cousin has a pocket knife and he can do a vasectomy. Actually, it's not very hard to do. The risk of infection's high, but proper procedures, and you can get a free vasectomy. Not encouraging it. Gas prices will climb for now. Shortage, Saudis lowering production raises the price of a barrel of oil. There's a lot of things. Worldwide tensions, they're not bad now, but they will rise again. And as we get into summer, they'll even climb higher because the demand will be greater. And remember, we can't just go out and make another 100,000 gallons of gas. We can't do it. Our plants that manufacture gas from oil are at their peak. They run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They never shut them off, which is why sometimes they break down and you'll see a big spike in gas prices. It's not because we don't have it, the machinery broke down that produces it. But we're tapped out as far as at the maximum gas that we can produce. And the demand is greater than what we can make. So that's why prices go up sometimes. Electric cars, they relieve that tension. A lot of them. Wasn't aware, but you get out and drive and start spotting them. They're real popular now. Of course, they don't need gas. They're using electricity, which is another thing. Now you got to produce electricity through wind power or whatever way you want to do it to run these cars. And I'm going to get into battery destruction and exploding cars and but they have relieved the pressure on gasoline. And at the highest level of government, they've now put a mile per gallon on every vehicle. Not every vehicle, but the total sum of vehicles made by that company has to be like 40 miles to the gallon. Well, we don't have anything that does that. Maybe some of these little cars with uh, dual engines, but let's say Chevy. The total sum of vehicles that they make has to make 40 miles a gallon, which is why electricity has become popular for cars. It's because the administration is pushing it. Why are they pushing it? Oil prices are going up. Saudis are producing less oil and they're retaliating for something we did or said, or they just don't like us. And so this is an attempt to get these businesses to comply, to make cars that are more uh, gas friendly. Assassinations attempts, a lot of assassination attempts. Putin is ill now, but he'll recover for a short time. It won't last, but he'll recover for a short time. And there is some kind of dementia thing going on there as well. Some kind of cancer thing, there's some kind of heart lung thing. He's not very well. Which one gets him? We could have a contest. Which one gets him? I think his own people are willing to do that for us. Excuse me. Anyway, some of those are pretty crazy cannibals, and but I was just sitting around here thinking, what? And they said, first one, civility will ensue. Post-war civility. It's amazing people just hate each other during the war, and after they start building fences because they need each other economically. A lot of on that line between Russia and Ukraine, these people are married to each other. I mean, literally married to each other. Their children play with each other, they go to school with each other, and yet they're at war. Anyway, my guys are saying it's time to stop. I have a bunch of other stuff, but anyway, I don't do prediction stuff very often, but there you go. Excess materials built for this war will become a hazard. Stockpiling of stuff. Some of it's pretty ticky, and it'll become a biohazard. Now they've got it clear, a biohazard. I mean, don't they have enough trouble? Sheesh. Well, it's a lovely day out there. I'm going to get out and do some things today. We're planting some flowers in our we have a small yard. We have no yard in the back. It's an alley. But up front, there's a little postage stamp, and we just throw a lot of flowers out there and bushes and roses and uh, so a certain time every day we go by the places that sell plants. And we say, "Oh, that would go there." We don't have a big place, but every day it's like a new plant. And there's one I can't remember. It's something called a firecracker. That's an orange flowered plant that I tried to save the seeds of last 2 years ago. I had a bag full of seeds after the seeds fell in the pot and saved them and replanted them, and they didn't come back up. So I think it's a hybrid, and I think the seeds do not reproduce. Anyway, such an unusual orange colored flower. I think I just glanced at the, we just pick it up because we know what it looks like. It's something, something firecracker. Anyway, you see one, pick it up. They're beautiful. Um, plants are like art. They make us feel better about everything. See a beautiful painting, you feel better. You hear a beautiful song, you feel better. Art is like that. That's one of its jobs. Also, art's supposed to reflect what's going on in the country. And I think some people do that, and a lot of people choose to ignore it. People scraping by. the trend is to not go to college, not go to school. That's going to reverse itself at some point because the money that you make by going to college far exceeds anything else. Well, I got a job. I'm making so much an hour. I'm doing this. Those jobs don't last. They don't. If you have a degree, you have a career, and careers last. You may have moved from company to company, but you get paid well. So at some point, idiots who are saying, I'm not going to college, you can work your way through college. You don't have to borrow $200,000 to go to college. I didn't. I worked my way through. I think I've told the story. The day I hit the town where the college was, I got a job. Paid all the bills. My father helped a lot. He gave me so much a month. It wasn't much. A funny story. My sister, after I graduated a few years later, she went to college, same college, and she found out the same amount of money he was paying was what he was paying her. Just it's incidental money. It's for clothes and my sister's case, makeup and shoes and things that people need. But it wasn't any money you could splurge on anything. Anyway, back it was different back then. But yeah, I bought 4 pairs of jeans when I went to college and a bunch of shirts. And by the time I was out of college, those jeans had patches on them. I couldn't just go out and buy a new pair of pants, even though they were Levi's at the time. That was a pant to have, the in pant, and a lot of things sewn on the pants in the '60s, flowers and stuff, and some sayings which I can't say because they're dirty, but people walked around with those stuck on their butt. Okay, enough reminiscing, enough um, predictions, and maybe I'll do more of them. You can do these all day, but I don't know whether people hate them or like them. I can't tell. It just all of a sudden came to me this morning. Actually, as I was going to bed last night, someone said you should do some predictions tomorrow, and I forgot about it. And I got up and started doing my usual stuff, and they just started coming out. So they anticipated me doing them because what they were saying was we're going to give you some, even though nobody wants to hear about a guy being eaten by his brothers. Woo. No fear, no regret, no anger. Have a great day. Thanks for coming by.